If you've been following my works, you know that I have been deep in the graphite game for as long as I can remember, especially thanks to Faber-Castell sponsoring my last project. So for the past few months, I've been dealing with burnout from my 2-year project and some wrist pains. When I first started that project, one of my main goals was to really test myself, test my limits, test my artistic abilities. And now I think I have a pretty good clue of what I can handle mentally, as well as balancing that physically, because my wrist sometimes would start to hurt from years of just drawing at weird angles. But lately, I've been thinking, what's next? I mean, as awesome as graphite is, there's a whole world of art out there that I haven't even dipped my toes into yet. Okay, so here's the situation. I just got these two mysterious from Faber-Castell, like literally delivered to my doorstep. So I have no clue what's inside. At this point, anything might be inside. It's basically a surprise art haul. But if my suspicions are correct, it's got something to do with colors. Now, as I said before, if you've been following me for a while, you know that I've been living in the art zone forever. I love pencils. I love that clean, crisp shading and that control that you have over the graphite. Heck, I could probably draw a full portrait with my eyes closed at this point, but color, that's a new territory for me. It's like I've conquered one video game level and now I'm stepping into a second realm that I've never even touched before. So this whole unboxing thing might be me tumbling around trying to figure out how to use anything. It's honestly really terrifying, but at the same time, I'm really excited for what's to come. Anyways, I'm not gonna ramble on much. Let's crack these boxes open and see what they surprise me with. So first off, let's start with this bigger box and see what we got. Every time I get a box from Faber-Castell, they always wrap it with so much bubbles and cardboard paper, and I don't mind it, but my cat always enjoys them so much. And also she loves the boxes because they're always really big and they fit her really well. So first up, we have these knives. Now this looks like something out of a spy movie. These cool looking knives are beautiful, but if I'm being honest, they're not too practical in my graphite days. I've been using them to sharpen my graphite pencils and they don't really do a good job of that. Recently, I figured out you're actually supposed to use them to scrape off pigment or making tiny corrections, kind of like little hair. But the only time that I've played around with that was in my high school sketchbook where I had to draw Morgan Freeman. So I drew a lot of little hair for beards and I scraped off a lot of the paper. It went really well. Honestly, I think it was my first step into hyperrealism and what got me started into this journey, fun fact. But it's going to be super handy for those details and highlights in colored pencil works or graphite pencil work. So I'm willing to try it, at least on a little piece of test paper first. Let's put this aside. Next up, I've got these, a tool that I think is so underrated that I think every single artist should have, kneadable erasers. 4 of them, in fact. I know Faber-Castell sent me some colored ones before, but I love these gray ones the most, just because maybe it's like a neutral color. It doesn't really distract me from the works itself. Now, I can't stress enough how much I love these things. They're super soft and super palatable, which means I can shape them to erase fine details without making a mess. With graphite, they've been my go-to for scratching the edges and kind of softening everything and cleaning up some smudges. I'm excited to see how they'll work the magic on something else that's not graphite based. That's something maybe a little bit more waxy or something with more color. Or if I start layering a lot of different materials, I'm really curious to see how it interacts with that as well. So fingers crossed. Now moving along, these are some eraser pencils right here. I got 2 of these and they're exactly what they sound like. Pencils that erase. I remember posting a video of me using them on my Instagram and more than half the comments were asking what they were. And I'm a little bit embarrassed to say, but I discovered them awfully late, through another friend's Instagram videos in fact. I find them really fascinating and useful because they allow me to be a little bit more precise in my corrections. Imagine being able to correct tiny errors on a drawing without really disturbing the rest of your work. Now, that's what an eraser is supposed to be for, but I remember I used to have to cut up the erasers using a little knife to make it sharp so I can get those little tiny details and the control that I have that I'm used to with my pencils. And these perform the task extremely well. Pretty cool if you ask me. It's one of those things that might seem trivial, but trust me, when you're in the middle of a creative burst, every little tool counts. Now check these out. These are precision eraser pens. I got a pair of these and they look like they're straight out of a tech catalog. Now, I've never really used them before, but if I'm assuming correctly, they are basically mechanical pencils but erasers. They provide this super fine tip which is similar to the eraser pencils but a little bit less precise, and you don't have to constantly sharpen these. I find these perfect when you're trying to clean up certain areas that's a little bit on the medium side. On the fine side, I really prefer the pencils, but a little bit bigger area, I think these work extremely well, such as cleaning up the edges or pulling out some pores. Now we've got a set of paper blenders, or blending stumps, some people might call them. I've used these plenty with graphite and other smooth shading, but I'm really curious to see how they work with other materials, again, such as wax or other layers. The idea of blending different hues together to create smooth transitions sounds really fun, especially I remember those videos that I would see on TikTok of like people doing these sunset beautiful blendings that's just really aesthetically pleasing, or even some of those with like abstract colors, or they're just beautiful, and I can't wait to experiment with that. I'm not sure how paper blenders will work into that, or if I have to fall back on my fingers or some tissues or other blending materials, but that's something that I really do have to experiment with. Now finally, the last things in this box are the polychromos pencils. I see two sets here. Let me put this away. A box of 40 and a box of 23. Now, I've heard the name polychromos tossed around a little bit when people are talking about the gold standard for color pencils, and I'm not exactly an expert yet. I'm just learning, as you can tell, but I can tell from the packaging and the weight that these feel high quality, if you know what I mean. I'm super excited to try them out, see how they layer and blend, and maybe even figure out some colors, see if they can become my new favorites. Let's open one up and see. Look at that beautiful gradient. I'm gonna reserve the pristine packaging so I can take it off for my next video idea or something. But I'm assuming this is just the same beautiful gradient as this, except maybe a little more colors. Oh, definitely a bit more colors. Are there something behind it? Oh, there's two layers. Look at that. I guess the top is more of the colorful kind, while the bottom is more muted colors. And it's got our old friend Pit Graphite Matte thrown in there too. You know how we love them. Let's put this aside. I'm really excited to see what's in this giant box, because if all this material took off that little box, I can't imagine what's inside this. Each item from here feels like it could unlock a new trick or a technique as I start exploring color, and I'm honestly both excited and a little bit nervous, because when you spent years perfecting graphite, diving into color is like jumping into a whole new genre. Well, it is, but hey, that's what growth as an artist is all about, right? Now, I'm gonna guess that it's something color related as well, but maybe like a large palette or a sketchbook, maybe even a drawing board, who knows? Oh, there's a beautiful handle that I can just pull out. Let's see. Oh my goodness. Look at this. Look at this beauty. This is a full Polychromos color pencil wood case with 120 shades. 120. That's basically entire rainbow times 10, I think. I feel like I basically just walked into an art supply dream. I remember getting something similar to this for my Pit Graphite Matte pencils, and I would always feel so luxurious opening it like a suitcase. One time I accidentally opened it the wrong way and it spilled all over the place, but that's not their fault, that's mine, totally mine. Let's crack this open. Look at that. Look at how organized they are. It's like a perfectly arranged color gradient. This is absolutely stunning, I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little bit intimidated, if I'm being honest. I've never had this many colors at my disposal before in my graphite world. Well, there was a gradient of black and white, that's it, and grays. Now I have everything. I'm so curious to see how these stacks and behave, how the colors blend with each other, and how vibrant are the results. Do I even know how to handle this many options? Honestly, I'm scared to even like take a pencil out and mess this up because I don't want to mess up the gradient. I have so many ideas right now revolving around in my head. Portraits, landscapes, maybe something abstract, who knows? But I know for one thing it's gonna be an adventure. If you ever tried color pencils, you know it's all about layering, patience, and a lot of willingness to experiment. Whether with that's different kinds of pencils, different brands, or different types of paper. So buckle up because we're gonna take this journey together. Let's close it back up before I start ruining it. That's my unboxing of these fantastic supplies from Faber-Castell. Tons of polychroma pencils, erasing tools, and some more. It's basically a dream kit for someone who's ready to step away from the grayscale and into the world of color. I'm excited, a little bit nervous, but most of the part I'm really pumped to see how these work. I already got ideas in my head of what I want to try for my next series, and they're really inspired by other colored pencil artists. If you want to watch me stumble, learn, and hopefully create something awesome with these pencils, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell. I'll be documenting my entire journey, successes, failures, and all the messy bits in between, so you can learn right alongside me. Now, let me know in the comments, have you ever tried colored pencils? Any tips for a newbie like me? Or maybe you've been in a similar situation, moving from one medium to another. Tell me your story, I'd love to hear it. Also, please let me know if there's some materials that I'm missing, because this seems like a great kit to start out with, but I might be missing some other little things that might greatly improve my journey without me realizing it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next video where I put these pencils to a test and see if I can take a leap from black and white to the Technicolor reality. Until then, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.